What's up, everyone? Coach Laxbog here. Today I want to talk about stringing lacrosse sticks. Not how do you string lacrosse sticks, but if you're anything like me, well, you probably have that one head at home that you really wish you got strung up, that you'd be out there playing with. You even may have a stringing kit ready to go in this head, but you don't know how to string. So the real question that it really made me think is, do you have to be a stringer if you're a lacrosse player? I mean, the answer we'll get to in a minute, but I posed that question essentially to TikTok on this completely official, scientifically proven with end value poll. I got about 400 plus responses, which frankly, that's what makes it so official. 400 responses people came back with, and they told me if they're a stringer or not. You want to guess how many people were actually stringers of their own stick? 47%. That's right. 47% of lacrosse players actually string their own stick.
Maybe that's why the sticks aren't so good.
I couldn't believe it. I thought the number would be significantly lower, but 47% of people actually string their own stick, which means 53% get someone else to string it. With over 400 responses, I mean, that's got to be a scientifically proven hypotenuse poll thing, right? Now, even though I'm not a stringer, there are a few things you do need to figure out. Things like sidewalls. Sidewalls will break. Your bottom string will come loose. You need to be able to be a doctor on the field to be able to repair those on the fly, because if your stick's broke and you don't have a backup, you're not playing lacrosse. So those are some of the things you definitely want to make sure you're good at. But I did do some further research to find out some of the stringing techniques you need to know if you want to become a stringer. And it kind of came down to two main things. Knots and interlocks. And interlocks kind of help hold the mesh in place where it's supposed to be. There's interlocks, special interlocks, SI. You want to impress your friends? Tell them you know the SI. Special interlocks help hold the mesh in place, and then the knots, well, they help hold it helps hold it in place too, I guess. So we know we need to do interlocks and knots, but how do we put it all together to make this beautiful stick? Well, I found a couple websites. The first one is Stringer Society. If you check out Stringer Society, there's a lot of really good information out there on how to string sticks, really good blog pages. That would be one of the first ones I'd recommend. The second one I'd recommend, and this is maybe the holy grail, I had heard of it, I'd never logged in before, but check this out. If you go to Ustring, this is part of String King's website. String King put together an amazing tutorial on how to basically pick your head, pick the mesh. No surprise, it's their mesh, but hey, we'll go with it for now. You pick your head, you pick the mesh, and it'll tell you exactly step by step how to string the stick specific to your head. I don't know anything about stringing. I told you kind of that before. Sure, I've heard that there's special nuances with different sticks, but this does all of it in one place. Come on, that's amazing. That's awesome stuff. Definitely recommend you checking out Ustring. Then of course there's YouTube. You can look up all the different knots, all the interlocks that you want. You maybe even find a head that is exactly like yours with the mesh that's exactly like yours. You may be able to find it out there. So YouTube's another great location. I want you to let me know, who else do you use? What other websites? Help the lacrosse community out down below. Tell us, who do you use to learn how to string? Then of course there's the other angle for the rest of us. The 53% of us in my scientifically officially approved poll by the hypotenuse of the right angle trapezoidal pyramid, it shows that 53% of us reach out to someone else. And there is nothing wrong with that. If you know somebody that's really good at stringing sticks, why not let the expert do it? Or there's lots of great places online. I found a very interesting piece of information from Foss Lacrosse on TikTok. Foss, F-O-S-S. She's got a great lacrosse store. I think it's in New England somewhere. But one of the best comments I had seen her say is, when you go to get your stick strung somewhere, because she has seen some disastrous sticks, make sure you see the work that they have done. Too many times we're ready to quick pull the trigger. Hey, you know how to string a stick, especially in girls lacrosse. Girls lacrosse sticks are really hard to string. It takes a special person to know how to string those. Not everybody can. Men's, it's a lot easier. Boys, a lot easier to string. Girls lacrosse is a whole different animal if you're doing leathers. But make sure you check and see some of their work. This is such a simple, no-brainer tip, but she had seen somebody get a stick and it had absolutely no pocket. If you haven't seen my girls lacrosse pocket video, check out the links in the below. But it had absolutely no pocket. It was disastrously strong. She spent like $70 on this thing. It was not good, and it was really sad and terrible. This was a college lacrosse player who had received a atrocious stick, overpaid. So make sure before you get any work done, before you get a stick strung by someone, you see their work. So that goes into, where do I get my stick strung? And there's a few different avenues there. You could go to a local lacrosse store. If you have a local lacrosse retailer, odds are they're probably stringing sticks inside that shop. If you're in there, ask them, hey, did you string any of these sticks over here on the wall? Great question to ask, and that way you know what their work looks like. There's online retailers. Of course, there's lots of retailers right now that will sell you a head, they will sell you a shaft, they will also sell you a complete stick, or they'll sell you a pre-strung or unstrung head. Those are another option for you. Again, they're probably a little bit more legitimate just because they're coming straight from the retailer, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect. It doesn't mean it's gonna be great. And a lot of people opt to go with some more custom stringing people, not the ones coming from a traditional online lacrosse website. String Theory is a great website that brings a community of stringers together. It's kind of a more custom stringing package, not something you buy from a traditional online retailer. There's a bunch of stringers all across the country that seem to have come together, and even Canada as well, that have come together and kind of built this platform. And there you can see prices, customization options. It's actually a really cool website. So if you haven't seen String Theory, I totally recommend checking that out because there's a lot of really cool and really gifted stringers on that website. And lastly, Instagram. There are a lot of different stringers and dyers out there on Instagram doing some fantastic work. The beauty is you can see all their past work right there proven in front of you. So Instagram's another great place where you can find a lot of awesome stringers and work directly with them through the DMs. The next question is kind of, what's the average going rate these days for stringing? That's a great question because I may know somebody who's in the market for a stringer. If you know a stringer, contact me. But anyway, getting to know what the price is important. So based upon my little bit of research here, what I've kind of found, if you go to String Theory, the prices are listed right there. If you look online, there's a few different avenues you can find opportunities. I would say it's anywhere from $10 to $30, with $25 really being that sweet spot for a stringer's time. That is for the stringer's time. That is not for the goods. So if your stringer is buying the equipment, if they're buying the mesh, if they're buying the shooters, if they're bringing all that to the party for you, then you're gonna pay for that. If you are supplying all of that, then you're probably paying $20, $25, up to $30 or so for someone to string the stick for you. That is payment for their time for doing the stringing. So that's it, a lot of information today. If you wanna become a stringer, or if you just want to reach out to someone else and let them do it for you, it is completely okay. You don't have to be a stringer if you are a lacrosse player. It's not necessarily required, but I do recommend you be able to take care of your own stick in case it breaks. Thanks for stopping by this week. Hopefully you found some value today. If you did, smash the like button, let me know. Tell me to keep these things coming. Subscribe to the channel so we keep on growing to a bigger audience. You guys are awesome. As we say around here, don't forget the little things. Out there. First and foremost, words are difficult. Lastly, LinkedIn. What? This is a business? What are you talking about? Not have a oh my goodness. If I could just say words, it would be amazing.